welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you the most interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And thank you for joining us on another interesting episode. There is a lot to talk about in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. But before we get to all of the news that is fit to hear, not print, because this is not a print show, fit to hear, we like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to since the last podcast. So, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
I'm doing good. This past weekend, Ambler had a lot of stuff going on. Specifically, they had a weekend full of like Main Street activities. You know, they have Oktoberfest, which is a big one, but they also had First Friday, which is something they've been doing the past couple of years. They shut down the whole big long Main Street, and all the restaurants come out into the street, and they do, you know, like the dining in the street. There's like stalls and vendors and food trucks and everything.
And people love it. People love whenever you shut down like the main street and like you get to stand on the main street or eat on the main street.
Exactly.
Because, they do the same thing in Phoenixville.
Yeah, like
and
every town.
It's crazy.
Every town that has that, like, main, whatever you call it, every town calls it something different. But that, you know what, the main drag through town, right?
Yeah.
They like shutting that down. I like towns that do that. It's always a lot of fun. And Ambler is no different, smaller than some of the others, but they do a good job with it. My girlfriend was there. She had a little stand open to sell some of her homemade jewelry and keychains and stuff that she's been working on. So we were all there helping out.
What's the name of the company? You might as well give a plug.
I might as well. It's hard to explain. It's Lost and Found by Joel. It's Lost X Found by Joel ELSM on Etsy and Instagram.
There you go.
So if I should ask her for graphics.
Yeah,
that we can. Put
You're
up
right.
there.
We have a video podcast.
We should throw up the graphics. And I'm just thinking of this now. Thank you.
There you go.
I always get so distracted with making the rundown and everything, and then I always forget to mention stuff. Yeah, but we were there at the booth hanging out. What?
I just realized you don't have a graphic for your significant other's business, but we do have a graphic for something that you did that night.
So yeah,
we have your priorities straight. Sorry, Jordan. We don't have a graphic for your business, but we do have a graphic ready for Mike's food odyssey that we want to talk about.
We do, and it fits my shame because it's a very shameful thing that I did on First Friday. So yeah,
this cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful day.
So one of the, to be fair, this is our very first ever event, so I was very distracted. I wasn't really thinking. The next one I will plug more appropriately.
Very good.
But one of the big draws of First Friday, in addition to my girlfriend's stall, go check out her business once again, was all the food trucks. They had a lot of good food trucks there.
Yep.
And we got some crepes. There were some other tasty treats.
Look, I heard crepes, so I came running.
We went running straight to the crepe truck. It was delicious.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a really good crepe?
Friday.
I'm just a rhetorical question for people at home.
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
You get offered a crepe, you're going to take advantage of it.
Not many places have crepes.
No, it's very tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough to make a really good crepe.
Yes.
Because you have to spread the egg like really thin, and then you got to know exactly when it's really complicated. So
I have not tried making it. It's too much for me.
I have much respect for people that can do crepes. Anyway, back to your story.
Anyway, back to my food shame. So we ate our crepes. They were delicious.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful day.
I'm going to keep calling it my food shame because that's what it was.
There you go. Fantastic.
So I had the crepe, and then I saw another food truck, and I was just suckered in by the marketing. It was advertising something called a bread cone. So it was something like along the lines of the future of sandwiches. Bread in the shape of a cone, like a sandwich in a cone. And I was like, guys, I have to try a bread cone.
It's the future of food.
They had cheesesteak in a cone. They had chicken cheesesteak in a cone. All these different types of stuff in a cone.
Shall I officially display it for the video feed?
Show the picture for the people watching the video.
There we go.
There's me with my cheesesteak in a bread cone, and there's the food truck. And props to the company there, Cone Appetit. Gotta give them a shout out.
That's their website and name, Cone Appetit.
Bread cone. And see, another reason why you guys have to check out the video feed, because I mean this is just some breathtaking footage right here. Yeah, it's just me. So let me describe for those not looking at the video. It is a weird, like fried, almost like semi-sweet bread. It kind of reminds me of like an Annie Ann's pretzel. So if you take like an Annie Ann's pretzel and like smash it down into like a flat thing and roll it, and then fill it with greasy cheesesteak. But the problem with this bread cone, and I don't want to like disparage the company doing it, because I think they're trying something cool. But it's just too much grease. Because you got the cheesesteak, which is greasy, the cheesesteak mixture, which is greasy. You got the bread cone, which is buttery and greasy as well. But it's like flat and it's not absorbent. So all that grease just kind of sits and pools in there. And I'm eating this and
yeah, there's a lot of grease coming out.
There's a lot of grease. I like squeezed it and it started dripping. And for people in the Philly area, you want a nice greasy cheesesteak, but this is a little too much for me.
Yeah,
there's too much grease.
It doesn't. I don't think they should have let off with a cheesesteak. I know we're in Philadelphia. I know it's the food to start off with.
Right.
But I think the cheesesteak might have been one of the worst options to start this off.
You know what would have been a good option is something like
chicken or something.
Like chicken, something a bit drier.
Yeah, turkey.
Like a chicken salad would have been good.
Yeah,
that would have been really tasty. Like a tuna salad or even like some kind of like hoagie mixture.
Yeah,
Yep. Cheesesteak was just very, I think,
it was
ambitious.
A little too sloppy,
and the bread was not the right type of bread for it.
Yep.
So
it was an honorable attempt.
It was an honorable attempt. I did not finish it, but I had to try a bread cone, and just to let everybody know, it is not the future of bread or sandwiches. Not yet.
They got to work on it.
I feel like they could definitely get there. Because the thing is, here's the thing. You're like, bread in a cone, cool, I can just eat it in one hand as I walk around like an ice cream cone. No, you can't. It's so greasy, you can't do that. Your hand is going to be dripping and covered in butter and grease. It makes it less eatable because I had to use the fork to try and dig the cheesesteak out, but then I'm not getting the bread cone, which defeats the purpose of the bread cone.
Yes.
You want to be able to eat I want to eat a cheesesteak like an ice cream cone. But I couldn't do that.
Right. The idea behind this is I want to be able to eat dinner via ice cream cone.
Yes. It's like somebody wanted ice cream for dinner and they had to justify that concept. And so they just replaced the ice cream with food. But it doesn't, as an ice cream cone, it doesn't work. And also as a sandwich, it doesn't work. So I don't know.
All right. Well,
not yet.
That was Mike's quick food review from the First Friday event here in Ambler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was fun. I was there too. It was great to walk around, and it was a great night too. It was like perfect 60-degree temperature.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Very.
It's official. Fall is here.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I was like totally comfortable in just like a t-shirt and jeans the entire night. It was perfect.
Yep. I'm very happy. Fall seems to be here now for the season and breaking the heat finally. I can't stand the summer heat. So I'm very happy that we're finally turning the corner here.
So what else did you do this weekend? Because I know we did that. We were both at First Friday, but what else did you get up to?
Yeah. So nothing really that much except that I was over at my mom's house and we were digging through one of the closets, and would you believe it, we found my old Nintendo 64.
Oh man, that's a find.
Yeah, it brought back some great memories, and it actually worked, which I couldn't believe. That there was a lot of dust, unfortunately, that had to kind of, you had to clean that a little bit. Because unfortunately, with cartridges, it is like if there's dust on the connection tips, your game will not work.
Right.
So you got to do a little bit of cleaning before you try and fire it up and try and get it to work. But if you do, I think it held up. I was surprised. I was playing some games and playing Mario Kart, GoldenEye.
So did you take that with you? Did that make the journey home with you?
So right now we've left it at my mom's house because she also saved an old analog TV.
Oh, that's a good point. That's like the only thing you can plug it into.
I mean, without like an adapter.
Without
or something.
adapters,
You would need some sort of adapter. But my mom finds it funny that she has this TV. It's an old tube TV, and that still works too. But it's got it's got the RCA connector. So
there you go.
we have it set up in like the guest room right now, and
Nice.
I don't know. I think we're maybe when my nephews come over, maybe they'll be interested in seeing the classic technology.
You know, that's a good point because you got a lot of younger nieces and nephews, and you can be like, "Listen here, yo, whippersnappers.
Yeah,
This is how you used to play video games.
right. This is how you did it.
That's
Do
right.
a barrel roll.
Yeah,
That's right.
Star Fox.
To barrel roll, press Z or R twice.
I mean, do they even know how to barrel roll?
Do you know where the Z button is?
No.
Yeah, on the Nintendo 64, if you're unfamiliar with the controller, you don't know where the Z button is. It's underneath the center stick.
The dumbest controller ever made. Correct? I mean, come on. You have to admit, it's a dumb controller. That's the pause of somebody who secretly agrees.
I do not like. Actually, I don't like the GameCube controller.
Okay.
I'm a little annoyed at that one.
That's also weird.
Because the A button, I guess they were trying to make that like your primary button
It's
for most
big,
things. It's
and then
huge.
The other one,
And then the B button is like right next to the side, but it's significantly smaller.
yeah,
So if you need to use, I'm sure there are games. I can't think of any right now.
like
off the top of my head.
like a button
But,
combo.
Yeah, I'm sure if you need A and B and you need to go back and forth, it doesn't flow right. I just
Yeah.
remember GameCube was annoying.
Okay.
I didn't like the GameCube controller.
Okay.
I personally still don't like the Xbox controller. There's something with the
Oh, you don't like the analog stick up top?
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like an analog stick up top. That's also harder for me too. I guess I have short thumbs, so it's like harder for me to try and get that higher joystick on the left-hand
Yeah.
side of the Xbox controller.
For my money, the PlayStation controller is still the best.
I do love that.
I've been
one. Yep.
gaming on that for.
Hey, it works. Don't fix. If it ain't broke,
Exactly.
don't fix it. So it
Nintendo
works great.
has the worst controllers, though, hands down. It changes every single, completely changes.
Yeah, they're trying to innovate every year.
Just all you need is the buttons that everybody.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
Yeah, so you
No.
can't let you enjoy that, Mike.
No.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
Yes. You know what? I'll finish out the Star Fox.
Oh my.
I am the great Leon.
Yeah, how's Leon doing?
It was gonna bug him if he didn't play it.
I am the great Leon.
How's
There you
Leon doing? Yeah, we got to check in with him.
My dad's work buddy.
The
I
great
don't know.
Leon.
I am the great Leon.
Yes,
He's
of course.
He's great.
How do you not know the great Leon? What are you doing?
What are you even doing?
What are you doing out there listening to podcast land if you don't know the great Leon?
The great Leon. So yeah.
Yes. So there you go. That
So
was
that's-
my jump through some classic times in the Nintendo 64.
Nice.
Yeah, we. I also had episode 1 racer pod racing game from.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a little weird because I totally forgot how George Lucas was trying to sell pod racing as Quidditch.
As Quidditch?
You know how people are obsessed with Quidditch,
Right.
and they almost want that to be its own
A real
sport.
thing. Oh, okay. So you're saying
He
was doing
was
the same-
trying to make a separate sport for Star Wars, and he was trying to do
Pod
pod
racing?
racing, and because there's pod racing games, there's a pod racing side legacy, there's actual racers. If you wanted to go into the history of this, you absolutely can.
So.
Sebulba.
Oh my
Everybody loves Sebulba. He always wins.
Side rant. There were so many things wrong with that prequel trilogy, and pod racing is the perfect example of all of them. It was just something that was shoehorned in there. This madman had an idea, and he's like, "It needs to happen."
Yeah.
And nobody could talk him down off this
No.
ledge.
And-
So much was devoted to this stupid side thing.
He thought it would take off.
Yeah. No.
The video game though is actually a little fun.
Can you customize your pod, or are there different tracks?
There's tracks, and you can there's upgrades to build your pod racer and stuff like that.
I mean, it's built to be a video game.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
But that's the end. That's all
Right.
it should have been.
Yeah.
It can't be its own standalone.
It's a
sport.
it's a distraction.
Correct.
It's not the meat and potatoes.
Right. So you maybe if you're familiar with that, you all know Sebulba. That's all I know. I know Sebulba was the guy you wanted in that game.
Oh, he was the best.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, that's enough. We gotta.
Speaking of real sports, though, Rich.
Yeah, we need to get to real sports. We can't deal with this fancy fake sports and video games and stuff like that. No, we need to get back into regular sports, and there's a lot of sports news to get to. So let's launch into the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Ha ha! Sports coming at you in your face. And guess what, folks? We can play the win music again.
Woo! Mamma mia!
Boobies.
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
Like such as?
Folks, this might go down as one of the best weeks in Philadelphia sports history ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. You probably don't even know this. The Philadelphia Union is doing really well.
I did hear something about that.
They
yeah.
have locked up the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs
Wow.
for Major League Soccer.
#1.
Yeah. How do you like that? So soccer, we're doing really well. We're going to get to the Eagles in just a minute. They pulled off a narrow win going to 5-0. But the thing I want to talk about to start off the Sports Sampler is the Philadelphia Phillies shocking the St. Louis Cardinals by sweeping them in the wild card round. They're moving into the divisional round. Everybody's excited. And also simultaneously, the Mets choke the same weekend.
It's a good week.
They go 101 wins this season, and they lose the final crucial series of the season to lose the division, have to play the wild card, and they get knocked out in the wild card round. This
you
has been
said
glorious.
You said it. You said it here that the win total doesn't matter in the
No,
playoffs.
it doesn't. The moment the playoffs start, win totals do not
And
matter.
To further fuel the fire, I don't know if you realize this, but the Phillies also have just won their first game in the divisional round.
Yes,
as of the day of recording. So they're leading that series.
Wow.
So things are on the up and up in Philadelphia.
Yeah, this has been. I'm not used to this much positivity with Philadelphia sports teams.
No,
This is weird.
I'm waiting for the other shoe.
Yes. But you know what? Right now, the Phillies, they're playing with house money. Nobody expected them to get this far, especially after they fired Girardi earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And Bryce Harper had gotten hurt. I mean, this is literally the definition of just no pressure. The Phillies they're really playing with just house money and just enjoying the ride. They're playing loose.
Yeah.
And, we'll see how far this gets them. Right now, they're playing like there's just, there's no chip on their shoulder. They're ready to go. They're having fun. I hope it keeps up. We'll see. But even if the Braves do come back in this series and win, I got to say the Phillies have been very, very well. They've done a very good job the second half of this season, and the finish and the playoff run here. It's been excellent so far.
Yeah,
They've made it further than the Mets, who won 101 games. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go home.
And looking
Try again.
I think that's the thing you like the most. Not the Phillies actually winning. The Phillies could have lost, and as long as the Mets have lost as well, you would have been just as happy.
That's just such the Met way to lose and get yourself knocked out of the playoffs.
I mean, there's just
They were leading the division going into September.
Yeah.
The Mets were in charge.
There's just something special about, a hated rival
collapsing.
Losing. Like, even those years where the Eagles didn't make the playoffs and Dallas would lose, or, you always remember the glorious Tony Romo field goal fumble.
Yeah.
It's just gives you those warm, fuzzy feelings all over.
Yeah.
You don't need to win. You just need the rivals to lose.
Yeah, I just don't want to see them succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about sports. There's multiple ways to, quote-unquote, win.
Right. Or bet money. It's great.
There you go.
Yeah.
But Phillies advancing in the playoffs,
Oof.
I think exceeding expectations.
Yes,
that
very,
people
very
had
much
set
so.
early in the season.
If you had asked me back in September who was going to go further between the Mets and the Phillies, I think I would have said the Mets.
Yeah.
But wow, the Phillies, they're playing with nothing. They're playing like they got nothing to lose. So why not?
Sometimes that's the most dangerous thing.
Yeah,
like
that is
the movie The Replacements.
Yep. Unfortunately, it hasn't been a good weekend for Cardinals because not only did the Phillies knock out the St. Louis Cardinals, the Eagles came through with a close win against the Arizona Cardinals, 20-17.
Yep.
I know you want to talk about this, Mike, because this was not exactly a good win.
Yeah. everybody keeps ranking the Eagles number 1 overall. I don't want to immediately jump to, the negative aspects. The Eagles did have some really good things going on. They were able to beat one of their tougher opponents, hold out there and win a narrow victory. But people keep ranking them number 1 overall, and I just don't personally see it yet. Because
the 5-0 doesn't.
Here's the thing: all these writers are like the Eagles 5-0, only undefeated team. But you're telling me when they put up a stat like the Eagles are in the history of the NFL have scored more points in the second quarter ever, and then are dead last in scoring in the other 3 quarters. You're telling me if you put this team up against the Chiefs or the Bills, and the Eagles can only score in 1 quarter. Are we, honestly, Philadelphia fans, are we winning those games? If we're scoring in 1 quarter.
Well, it's funny. You pointed this out before the show. The Eagles going up against the Bills or the Chiefs? I don't know why, but
every ranking I see, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Bills, Chiefs.
I would be more confident in the Eagles going up against the Bills right now for some reason. I feel like they could handle the Bills.
The Bills.
Because the Bills do not actually have a run game. They're having trouble setting up the run unless it goes through Josh Allen. But how long can that last? Like that actually is a big concern for the Bills.
Chiefs don't really have a defense.
The Chiefs don't have a defense, but they scare me more in terms of matching the Eagles with big play capability. And plus Andy Reid I think he would be able to scheme against us. I think he's
Andy Reid versus Sirianni, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would actually be more worried if the Eagles had to go up against the Chiefs and the Bills in that situation.
Okay.
It was just funny. It was one of those
weird thought
teasers.
experiments. Yeah.
Yeah. You sent my way.
Yeah, but I mean, here's a brain teaser. 5-0 for the Eagles. I don't think either of us expected 5-0 to start the season.
I thought there would be a loss by now.
I'm at the point. I thought we would probably been like 3-2 by now. So I'm at the point in the season now where if we finish with less than 12 wins, it's kind of a disappointment now.
Because that would be
mean to finish
6-6 only.
Yeah, if they go the rest of the season 6-6, that would be a disappointment. They have set that level of expectations now. But you look at the rest of the schedule, and really, the only opponents from here on out that I see giving us trouble are other NFC East teams, which is a big part of the schedule. We play the Packers. Really
so
look at the schedule.
My concern in that schedule is that block where it's like Packers, Titans, another meeting with the Cowboys. It's like almost 2/3 of the way through the schedule.
Yeah.
That part concerns me. I think that's the part they're going to stumble and they might have like a losing streak.
Yeah. I could definitely see them losing 2 of those 3.
Titans always seem to have our number. They always seem to find a way to just get us.
We also play the Saints, who we also sometimes struggle with. I know we beat them, a year or 2 ago with Hurts? I can't remember when.
It was his first start. Yeah,
it was like 40-something to like 9, but that was such a weird year, though.
That was Hurts' first start. I remember that.
Yeah. So it's one of those anomalous games that I kind of take out of the equation. Other than that, the Saints usually beat us up. But back to the game at hand. Speaking of Hurts, is he the guy?
Oh, no. We got to get back to this again. All right. Yep, let's launch into it. It's time for Mike's favorite segment, apparently, here in the Sports Sampler. Is Jalen Hurts the guy?
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
All right. Mikey's bringing back this segment because now they stumbled a little bit here.
I mean, no touchdowns. How can you be the guy?
No passing touchdowns.
He ran for 2.
He ran, yeah.
Here's my problem. With what?
Just the way you phrased that. No touchdowns. I'm like, he scored twice.
No.
That?
Okay, here's the thing. What is he listed at?
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Okay, answer me this, football fans. If you are describing football to a non-football viewer and you're describing the positions, what position does Jalen Hurts play?
Quarterback.
And what would you define as the primary goal and purpose of the quarterback position?
to lead the offense.
Oh, get out of here, George Carlin. It's to throw the
to be
damn
the field,
football.
No, to be the field general
And lead
marching his troops through enemy territory.
The sustained ground assault and aerial. Yeah.
Yes.
Aerial passes.
And ground attack.
And ground attack. But look, in all seriousness, here's my issue right now. To be clear, very happy the Eagles are winning. Very excited. Very high expectations now. But I need to see a little bit more balance from Hurts. We won this game because of Hurts, right? He led the team in rushing. He threw the ball. He literally did everything. But that's also kind of the problem because he struggled as well because of the blitz that the Cardinals brought. So, yes, we were able to beat them, but we scored 6 points in the second half. I mean, you can't go an entire half of football and score 6 points and expect to win in week 14, 15, 16, the playoffs.
Yeah, the Eagles are still, I think, last in fourth quarter scoring.
Yeah, last. And you You're not going to win playoff games like that.
No.
You're just not. So, I know people out there he's the reason we won. You're right. But he can also be the reason that we lose if the offense only runs through him. You get what I'm saying, guys?
Sure, but where do you stand on Jalen Hurts being the franchise, being the guy?
I need to see a little bit more.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Because I feel like every week you're still going back to this one. That it's not not happening.
I think I still need to see a little bit more balance, a little bit more maturity. And also, again, I'm the only reason that we're 5-0.
Because of this segment.
Because of this segment,
okay, very well. Very well. Excellent.
Look, you have to have your superstitions as a sports fan, and this is my superstition. I have to find a reason why Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. He proves me wrong. We go back and forth. It's a dance we're doing.
All right. Well, speaking of dances that we do, one of our weekly dances is the segment where we preview 4 important games on the schedule coming up for the NFL, and we give you our predictions as to what is going to happen with them. We call it the Fantastic Four picks, and this is the Fantastic Four picks for week number 6 of the NFL season. There we go. Music is on. What are our 4 games, Mike?
Well, first up, we have a battle of the M cities. The Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Miami to face off against the Dolphins, who at the time of recording are still missing Tua, which is a huge loss for that team.
He's not coming back anytime soon.
He's still in the concussion protocol. I don't see him coming back. Rich, with that being the case, do you think the Minnesota Vikings take this one on the road?
I hate to say it, but this is just war of attrition at this point. Miami is just too banged up. They've got so many injuries. I mean, they couldn't even handle the Jets last week. I'm going back on the Vikings bandwagon now.
You're back and forth, back and forth.
I'm so hot and cold on this, but I think it's
Have
Vikings.
you picked a single Vikings game correctly?
No, that's the worst part. So that means Miami is going to win.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going Miami. No. You have not had the best record with Minnesota, but I begrudgingly agree with you here because
there's just too many injuries.
Especially at the quarterback position. Minnesota's also hitting their stride. They lost that one game to us, and that's it.
Yeah.
So far, they've been good, except that. And the Dolphins.
Kirk Cousins has led multiple drives now in the fourth quarter.
Maybe he's the guy. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
My whole system of values and beliefs has gone upside down. But the Dolphins also 30th in defense right now, and these things are not meshing correctly. The loss of the quarterback, the low-ranked defense, it looks like it could be a Vikings win here, guys. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the New York Giants. I didn't think I'd be talking about this game, but the New York Giants with 4-1, a serious threat here in the NFC East. Do they further solidify their strength here against the Ravens?
No. I can't believe this. I cannot see Baltimore and John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson going to New York and losing to the Giants. The Ravens are so much better on the road. They're clicking with how they want to use Lamar and that offense. I think the Giants have just gotten lucky that I think like they've had weird scenarios that happened in their last couple of games between lack of quality opponents, like they had the Bears and stuff like that, and then the Packers kind of underestimated them in London, and maybe the whole flight got to them, and the Packers just weren't playing at 100%. I think that is more likely the case than the Giants are a playoff football team. I think the 4-1 record is inflated. I think the Ravens come in and smack the Giants. I cannot see Lamar Jackson losing to Daniel Jones. If that happens, I gotta just stay off of these two teams forever.
You know, this is actually a very tough game because on paper, they're very similar. Really strong defenses, really strong ground games. The passing offense is like, somewhere in the lower mid, No?
I'm going to take a little exception to that because Lamar Jackson has actually thrown 10 or 11 passing touchdowns this season. He's actually been sneakily a good passing option.
12 passing touchdowns so far to 5 interceptions. Daniel Jones, obviously nowhere near those numbers. Part of me wants to go with the hot hand New York Giants, but, I'm kind of with you. They're coming back from London. It's going to be tough for them to get back into the swing of things. And I think that's the only reason here. Daniel Jones is still getting back to speed, coming back from London. I think it's going to be tough for them even at home.
Also, another thing, Daniel Jones got an ankle injury.
Yeah.
He won't be doing any bootlegging.
So, he's a little hobbled. And, again, the big thing is coming back from London. It's always rough coming back from overseas. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here. A little begrudgingly because I think the Giants are better than you're giving them credit for, but I don't think good enough against the Ravens. But this next game is the game of the week, I think. And I'm saying that even as an Eagles fan, we have an AFC Championship Game rematch.
Why is this not the Monday night game?
NFL scheduling.
NFL, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, it is a Sunday. No, it's not. It's a Sunday afternoon game, which is super weird. The Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Rich.
Yes.
I mean, despite it not being a primetime game, which I think is an actual crime, who do you think is going to win this one?
Oh, I think it's going to be the Bills. I think the Bills are so salty from that playoff loss that they need to go into Kansas City and they need to just smack down the Chiefs. They need to show that they should have been the winner in that divisional game last year.
How about the fact that they have a top 5 offense and defense?
That too. That will also play well.
I mean, the Bills, and I said this before the season, and I say it now, I think they are the most complete team. Offense, defense. The only thing that they're not the best in is the ground game, and they're still solidly in the middle of the pack. It's not like they're 29th out of 32. They're 14th.
No, but
it's not like they're atrocious.
I can see, though, that being an Achilles heel to this team.
Yeah, but when you got the first-ranked offense and the fourth-ranked defense,
it's tough to stop them.
It's tough to stop them, and I think you're also right. What better way to get revenge than to march into Arrowhead and smack down those Chiefs?
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a big game. This might determine home field advantage, too.
Absolutely. Guys, keep an eye on. This is the game to watch. Even with this next game we're talking about, the hometown team, the Dallas Cowboys traveling here to Philadelphia to face off against the Eagles. Sunday Night Football. Rich, is this the game? Because I think it could be. I think it could be the Eagles' first loss. I said last week that Arizona may be a trap game, and it almost was because they caught themselves looking ahead to Dallas week. And I'm worried that we're catching. I would rather face Dak Prescott. Instead, we're facing Cooper Rush, who's going through some sort of weird renaissance.
Well, it's not really that. He's just doing a really good job of making sure that he doesn't lose ball games.
If we were facing Dak, we would win. Because he's coming back. He's coming back from an injury. He's rusty, but we're facing Cooper Rush. That team, that defense is tough. They're really scary.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense is actually legit, and that's going to be the key matchup. Can they stop the Eagles offense? And I think if they have the same success as the Cardinals last week, I think the Cowboys actually can pull this one off. I'm going to go with the defeatist attitude here. I'm going to say the Cowboys win, but then hopefully the Eagles prove me wrong. And then that way I can still celebrate that the Eagles win.
Yeah.
But officially, I got to say, this looks like a good spot for the Cowboys. They got nothing. They're in this situation, they're playing with house money because they're not expecting that much out of Cooper Rush. Tony Pollard is exploding. Yep. We thought Ezekiel Elliott was going to be the end of this offense. Nope. All of a sudden, they land in the Tony Pollard. Another stud running back. Just frustrating how they just find backups that do just as well as starters.
It's plain and simple here. They have tons of weapons. They're very balanced offensively. Defense is playing stellar.
And usually in these Cowboys-Eagles matchups, the away team always likes to play spoiler.
Yeah.
It always seems to be the away team pulls it off.
Yeah. We don't like this position of picking against the Eagles, but I said last week, and I stand by it, I think this is the game that they drop. Because it is so Philadelphia to be flying so high and just get your wings clipped at the worst possible time.
Not exactly the worst possible time, though. I will say this in optimism. They could go in here. The Eagles could lay a dud. They could get blown out.
Better
whatever.
to get it out of the way early?
Yes, and before a bye week. Very important.
Fair.
So if the Eagles do, put up an egg and they don't do well in this, there's a lot of time to fix things that go wrong in that bye week.
So what you're saying is actually the best possible time.
I wouldn't say it's a good time to lose, but it's actually, in terms of like trying to fix things, it wouldn't be a bad time, if things go wrong here. They could lose this game, go into the bye week,
get it all fixed up,
get things fixed up, get healed.
Yeah, I was gonna say get healed up. The offensive line very banged up, so.
Yeah, it's weird. I've actually noticed that, sometimes the opposite things happen when you go into a bye week. So if the Eagles go and they actually win this, that means they ride a winning streak into a bye week. That means that things could go south.
You don't want to get complacent. You want to go into the bye week hungry and
Yes,
pissed.
Right. I want that attitude.
So, yeah, Eagles going to lose. But it's going to be a win.
The Eagles...
Eventually.
Yes. The Eagles will...
It's a loss, but it's a win.
It's going to be a tie.
Whoa! Say it ain't so.
Yes, there we go. Well, how about with that? We call for a tie.
There you go. And that is our Fantastic Four picks for Week 6, everybody.
Yeah.
Get them locked in.
Week 6. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I am personally dreading that game. Oh, there you go.
Whoa. So is the computer. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh,
Rich,
my God.
Rich just downloaded a virus.
Yeah, apparently. What the hell? And I think we froze, too.
Uh-oh.
What the hell?
That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Vamp.
Yes.
Are we?
I think we froze.
Are we actually recording, though?
Yes, we're recording, but we froze. The actual screen is frozen on our video feed. Whoops.
Okay. All right. We had more to talk about, but do we want to...
Let me see if I hit the be right back screen and then go back to the main camera. Nope. Oh,
okay.
shoot.
All right.
We are frozen.
Okay. Your computer, you picked against the Eagles, and the computer literally was like, nope, done.
Yeah. All right. How about we take a break?
Let's take a break. We'll come back, maybe,
Yes.
with a segment.
Yes. All right.
We don't know which one, but
Yes.
let's take a short break.
Yes, that's how this is going to work. All right. We'll see you guys when we return from the break, and hopefully with the camera working. All right. We'll see you on the other side.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
All right, we're back here Yeah, so I guess the story is going to be told. Yeah, our main camera just went down.
Yeah.
Went down in a blaze of glory.
Well, the video viewers are getting a treat of an alternate angle here.
Yeah, it's the only angle that we can show here on the video feed of the podcast. Our camera decided to just go under. I don't know.
Yeah. So Rich got a notification that, like, nuked his camera. Like,
Yeah.
I have no other way of putting it other than it just completely broke it.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Something happened. I don't know. It's the nuclear notification. I don't know. This is almost as bad as the iPad fire of 2016. I don't know. But
Yeah.
look, here's the news, folks. At least none of the audio equipment got messed up. It was only the visuals.
Knock on wood.
So if you're watching the video, yeah, you've got a weird, unique angle of us. But however, we still can do a show. Everything in the audio feed is still working, so you can still listen to our show in the background wherever you like to listen to our podcast. So thankfully, that has not been compromised. So we can still continue with the show and still get you the episode that we had planned for you.
That's right.
So let's launch into the second segment that we did have planned before the nuclear notification went off and set us back to the Stone Age here. But no, let's launch into some news. It's time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right. It's entertainment entree. Did you want to mention something else, Mike?
No, I just thought I always have misspellings in this rundown. I typed Goya.
Goya, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Goya. You know, we didn't even mention Dicker the Kicker in the sports sampler.
I don't know, man. We're just all over the place today.
Yeah.
That's
Goya.
right. Dicker the Kicker.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was trying to type here. Goya.
You were trying to promote Goya.
I guess I just really like beans or something.
Yeah, wait, where was it? It was on
It's in the sports sampler. I think I was trying to write our players got a hand on that final field goal. I wrote Goya.
Yeah,
Goya hand.
You wrote Goya hand. Although I don't know how that. Yeah, that does come through on the webcam. There you go,
There you
Goya. Go. There you go. All right.
Yeah, we didn't even get. We missed half our topics.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything.
That's okay.
This is what you get with the Crispy Noodle podcast. Things freezing and random misspellings and everything like that. All right, so let's get to entertainment entree. Mike, I hope you didn't misspell this next segment because it's all you. It's time for Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, what should the people keep an eye out for this weekend?
All right, this week we have a couple of movies hitting theaters. Important movies to check out, I think, if you want to keep your eye on some potential awards nominees and winners. First up, we have The Whale coming out this week. You'll probably remember this one from the time that Brendan Fraser got that standing ovation for his role in this movie. And I think from what I've been seeing, he may have a pretty good shot at getting some awards attention with it. Being nominated for his role as a reclusive English teacher dealing with severe obesity, trying to reconnect with his estranged daughter. So it's a very, from what I understand, an emotional role. He did a very good job with it. And reviewers are giving it above average scores. And the press for Fraser, like I said, has just been incredible. So if you want to see a potential awards nominee, go check out The Whale. Other than that, you also have Decision to Leave is a new foreign romance/mystery thriller film. The synopsis reads, quote, a detective investigating a man's death in the mountains ends up meeting and developing feelings for the dead man's mysterious wife in the course of his dogged sleuthing. Reviewers are loving the movie so far. It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 8.1 out of 10. As we know, recently there's been a sort of uptick in interest in foreign films in the Oscars. A few years ago, Parasite won Best Picture. So keep an eye on this one as well. That's Decision to Leave, hitting theaters this week. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. Just an update from last week's episode, because we talked about the Try Guys scandal with Ned Fulmer being he was caught cheating with a fellow food baby / Try Guy employee.
Food baby.
Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to mention that specifically was because Saturday Night Live decided to do a skit around this whole conundrum.
Yeah.
And it got a lot of flack. People did not like this skit. I guess for me, the main problem with the skit was it could have been funny. It actually had some bits that were cool, like trying to make it seem like that if you didn't know who the Try Guys were, that you were kind of out of the loop and you had no idea why is this newsworthy and stuff.
Right.
So like that part was funny. I wish they would have played on that a little bit more. But where it really went off the rails, in my opinion, in terms of not being funny, was the bit where they were almost trying to belittle or justify Ned's actions.
Right.
Because they have a line in the skit where someone says, oh, even Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. It's no big deal. It's not that much of a shocker. And I think that was supposed to be like, your home run line in the skit, to get laughs. And it just kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people online, especially those that are huge fans of the show, they did not find that funny one bit. I mean, it got a lot of hate comments. It got a lot of dislikes. If Saturday Night Live does like any sort of review process with their skits, this is not going to be one that I think they're going to like on the review side of things.
Yeah.
But it's fair. It's fair game to make fun of.
It's definitely fair game. I think to your point, it did feel a little safe, a little lazy.
Yeah.
After watching it. So I watched it. I chuckled. It had some funny moments. SNL always does. But and I think this is my issue with it, for a show that's supposed to be a sort of, or at least was a biting commentary on current issues, it lacked a little bit of that bite. It was weird. They were going after the quote unquote good guys in the situation, and they didn't take any shots at the quote unquote bad guy in the situation.
The transgressor, if you will.
Right, the transgressor. Right, exactly. They just kind of, and initially my reaction was, well, it's very expected to go after the transgressor, right? But then after watching it, I'm like, it's kind of weird that they didn't really deal with it at all. And I think there would have been humor there, like you said, if they played up more the idea of internet culture pervading into like mainstream culture,
which it did. I mean, you had like Variety covering this. You had mainstream news outlets that had to cover this story.
And like those bits I found funny, where the newscaster was trying to explain to the other anchor like what was happening. They're talking about food babies and clicks and all this, and the anchor's like, what do you mean? Because for somebody who was previously out of the loop, I'm like, what is happening? Why does anybody care about this? So I was in that position, and that would have been funny if they played up that angle. What also would have been funny is if they parodied the reaction with another reaction.
Yeah,
that is very.
That was a good idea. Yeah,
that is very.
You said that
culture.
You said that after we watched the skit. Yeah,
they should have done Ned Fulmer's reaction to the reaction, and then like a report on the reaction of the reaction. That is very internet meta. I feel like that would have jived well with the internet culture, and you can honestly, it was really interesting. I just searched SNL parody the Try Guys, and you see two types of headlines. You see headlines like the Hollywood Reporter and CNET, where it's just SNL parodies the Try Guys, emotional response. Then you see more internet news groups, right? Where they're like, SNL laughs off workplace misconduct, or SNL parody slammed for making light of it. And you can see that the more internet-facing authorities are viewing it in the way that we do, whereas the traditional news outlets kind of like, they're like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of an interesting divide there that I noticed.
Yeah, and there's also two things to mention with this too. One, Saturday Night Live is actually going through a little bit of its own sexual harassment / unsafe workplace situations because they have a Jane Doe that is reportedly suing Saturday Night Live over unsafe work conditions from Horatio Sands back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
So that's a little iffy on their part to try and make fun of the Try Guys situation when they've got, some, quite a mess in their own backyard.
Yeah, I mean that's another good point. Like, they want to make fun of the current events, but maybe not make it too relevant, like just in case kind of thing.
And then the second thing is that Ned apparently knows one or two of the head writers on the show. So I wonder if there was, kind of pulling back for the sake of covering for a friend a little bit,
Potentially. I mean, people like to always say, oh, personal relationships don't get in the way of stuff like that. But it has to on some level, right? I feel like it's completely unreasonable to think that they can be, especially if they're like friends, you don't want to like blast, it's just, I feel like that may have also had an impact. If that is true, that Ned Fulmer is close with some of the writers, it may have had an impact.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it was just kind of lazy and kind of just very, in a weird way, safe,
Yeah, it just was really bizarre that they didn't go after the antagonist of the whole story.
Yeah, right. Not at all.
I know this is extreme, but like that would be like making a skit about like OJ and then you don't mention anything about the murder or him robbing a bank.
Right.
He's done so many things wrong. It's like, how can you not address that in your skit if you mention this, the celebrity?
I mean, like I said, I think that a really funny bit would have been if they had done a reaction to the reaction.
Yeah.
Like, I think like that would have been good because you could have poked fun at everything. You could have poked fun at the internet reacts culture. You could have poked fun at the actual perpetrator. You could have poked fun at like the out of the loop people. It would have worked on multiple angles, but this didn't really work on any.
Yeah. Speaking of things that don't work on multiple angles.
Perfect transition.
The trailer for the new Super Mario Brothers movie came out.
Yeah.
And
that's a thing that is happening.
Just why? Why is this a thing?
So we watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was a trailer for a movie.
Yes.
And that's basically the best thing that I could say about it. So here's my issue. Visually, it looks wonderful. It looks like a very nicely, artistically styled animated film. I think they did a good job with portraying the world and the characters. It was very beautifully animated. But then the characters open their mouths and they start talking, and I'm like Bowser. I'm like, I don't know like how I feel about this. But then Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yeah, it
speaks for the first time. And there was a lot of hubbub earlier. Like, why are they having Chris Pratt play this role? He's not Mario. He doesn't have the "It's a me, Mario."
Yeah,
it's so easy.
It's so iconic. Like,
it's so easy to do the voice as well.
You need that sing-songy kind of voice. And
it's a me, Mario. It's like,
yeah,
it's not hard.
And Chris Pratt doesn't do it at all.
Instead, his voice is like, he's like, "Oh no, we're in the Mushroom Kingdom." It's like, it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
and
it's Chris Pratt.
That was the internet reaction. It's like, it's just Chris Pratt's voice.
Yeah, they didn't really do anything with it.
Like, they didn't change it at all. And call me crazy, go back, watch the trailer. I think it's like roughly 2 minutes. He only has like maybe like 3 seconds and he says one line.
Yeah,
the vast majority of the trailer
is the first the first half or 2/3 of the trailer is all the Bowser.
It's all Bowser.
It's
all Bowser, and this is why there was controversy about Chris Pratt doing the voice. I think they are not sold on Chris Pratt still, even though they're doing this trailer. They kept it literally, Rich. Think about it. You were getting ready. You're putting out a trailer for Super Mario. That is a huge franchise. And you have 4 seconds devoted to the actual titular character. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you want to bury the lead? Why would you want to bury the lead here? Why would you want to bury Mario?
And show off Bowser. Yeah, I don't understand. So
it's because there was so much backlash, and now there's even more backlash once people actually heard his 4 words of dialogue.
And Toad.
Yeah.
Toad said stuff too.
Toad was funny. I like Toad.
Toad says stuff too. I don't know. Luigi doesn't say anything. Luigi has 2 seconds.
He's
at the end.
he's like a complete afterthought.
Yeah.
It's like the trailer, if you had to break it down in percentages, it's 60% Bowser.
Yeah.
And a solid 15 to 20% Toad and just other random shots. And then Mario and Luigi make up maybe 10% or less than. And my theory is that they knew that they were going to get backlash. They knew maybe the star power is maybe not worth. I don't know. I in my opinion, they should recast and reshoot.
No,
it may be too late for it, but
the final gut calculation from this is it looks like a bad movie. I hate to say it. It does not feel right. It feels like everything is off. That it feels like someone read a brief description of a Mario game, and then from that description only, they made a movie out of it. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be a faithful representation of the franchise.
Comments are turned off on the video.
Oh, on their trailer? Oh.
I read an article that said it had something 90%, plus likes on YouTube, but the comments are turned off. So,
yeah, go figure. Yeah, it doesn't bode well.
So, I'm just saying there's clearly a lot of controversy. There's clearly a lot of people who don't like the voice. I think they should reshoot it. I mean, Shrek, famous example. They did the majority of the movie with
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley, and then they're like, you know what? He does not sound good like Shrek, or more appropriately, I think he did. He pass away during?
I think he passed away during recording.
Okay,
yeah.
So maybe it wasn't because. But you go back and you listen to those early things. It was a completely different.
On YouTube there are the early tapes of Chris Farley being Shrek. Yeah.
But here's the thing: they had a lot of it done, right? The voice work, at least, not the animation. But instead of just faking the rest of it, they decided to go a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Also, think back to another popular video game animated movie, Sonic the Hedgehog. The movie was done. Sonic looked like a nightmare come to life.
Yeah, that was weird.
So they nuked the movie. They recreated the character, redid all the animation, all the art, re-rendered the whole thing, and it was a big hit. You gotta do the same thing with Super Mario Bros. The voice the voice is awful. They either got to get Chris Pratt back in the booth and be like, just pretend you've eaten pasta in your life.
Yeah,
pretend
you've played a Mario game.
Pretend you've seen anything about this character.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Go watch it. He's literally like, oh, it's the Mushroom Kingdom.
Woo! Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Basically, my only hope for a good video game movie adaptation is Last of Us. That's it. I don't have faith in anything else.
It's one of the first trailers I've ever seen for a video game property where I'm like, hey, this I think is going to be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of things that can be good, we can move right along to our third and final segment, and that is the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda de bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo on news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, we, oh my gosh, why did I forget my spiel? Here in this segment, Rich,
Everything's going off the rails now.
Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing these stories for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
So this one's in California. This is just a quick story. This is literally like 2 or 3 sentences, but I do have a corresponding picture, and it's just funny to imagine at the same time. So in California, there's a concert called the Desert Days Festival, D-A-Z-E, Desert Days.
Desert Days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So woo,
you're out in the desert for days.
You're caught up in your own excitement and having fun.
Okay.
This happened last weekend, and there's a band that played, a post-punk band called the Viagra Boys.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, boy, what a very creative name.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed, it was erotic.
And they're kind of like this just weird, I don't know. They just have weird things happen. Like, they have a song called Sports, and it's literally like a dude singing in front of a tennis court while a tennis game is happening. Like,
okay.
Like he's got the microphone and he's singing the song in the center of the tennis court, but the tennis game is still happening.
Right.
They do like weird stuff like that. They do a lot of crazy things. They're the crazy punk band.
They got Viagra.
The Viagra Boys.
Yeah,
yep.
Crazy boners.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like, how old are they? What are they, like 17?
No, they're older.
Boners. Like, I don't know. It's like it's a little childish, maybe.
Yep. Well, apparently some of their fans get a little wacky as well.
Okay.
But not in the Viagra way. No, matter of fact, yeah, you would think with Viagra Boys, you'd think there'd be some sort of weird sex crime or something.
Yeah.
Nope. This is actually just completely harmless fun that happened at their set in the middle of Desert Days.
Okay.
And that is that in the front row, for some reason, there's no reason listed, people brought blocks of cheese and started to shred them on top of other festival goers in front of the Viagra Boys.
Okay.
Why not?
That is certainly weird.
You know, you're in the middle of the desert. You know, you got your music, you got your tunes, you got your liquid libations, and now you got cheese.
I mean, look, if you know you need something to soak up all that liquid, you know.
Yep. And here you go. If you're watching the video feed, if you've put up with the video feed this long, here you go. We've got the proof.
Oh,
there
wow.
we go. Bring in the cheese and the cheese grater.
And they're just grating cheese.
I love how it's in the air, like it's like part of the party. Like, whoa, yeah!
You know,
we're grating cheese.
That just seems like so much effort to me.
Watch out! Whoa!
My question is, what kind of cheese? Like, so you're there, you're in that crowd.
That looks
Rich,
like a cheddar.
And
It looks like.
all of a sudden,
it's a dark orange.
Cheese shavings start to fall upon your head. What cheese are you most comfortable having shred over you?
I don't know. As someone who identifies as Italian, I hope like a nice provolone.
Like a nice provolone, okay. Like you feel the cheese falling, and you You want to like catch it on your tongue like a snowflake, and you're like, please, provolone.
Ah, lovely provolone.
Lovely I mean,
It's a really magical night.
Don't you just love it when the provolone's in the air?
Yep. Provolone's in the air.
It falls gently on the branches.
Everywhere I look around, there's some provolone in the air.
I'm dreaming of a provolone Christmas. I just want snow to be replaced with cheese.
Yes.
It doesn't everyone really?
That picture was taken by Oscar Moreno, who did confirm that was a block of cheese.
But what kind of cheese?
I don't know. Do you really want to get up close and figure it out?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing: is you don't know where that person's been. You don't know where that cheese.
I'm
grater's
surprised they
been.
got a cheese grater into the area.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a weapon technically?
What kind of security is
It's
there?
sharp.
You just bring cheese graters in with you wherever you go.
That kind of sounds like a weapon. Like it's a sharp object.
Have you ever accidentally like gotten your
Rubbed?
fingers? Like, I mean, it's sharp.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah,
I'm
so there
thinking
you
about the
go.
one time I was using a mandolin.
That's how bad it can be. You make you scream.
Oh yeah. Oh, have you ever done that? I'm slicing potatoes.
By the way, but in that photo, he's like holding it up in the air.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell like how far you're going with the grater? That's dangerous.
Skin is coming off.
If you're not careful,
No, fingertips are definitely lost.
if you're not careful or if you're drunk, that's a one-way ticket to.
I can barely do it stone cold sober after work. If I'm got to shred some cheese or I got to slice a potato, Also, people are bumping into you.
Yeah. This is like a punk band, so I imagine the music is pretty, fast.
You're trying to shred the cheese to the music. You're like, you're not like doing a nice, gentle.
Yeah, this isn't Olive Garden or, yeah, like you're right. This is gonna be a really fast.
No, I want Olive
shredding.
Garden to shred the cheese like that. I want them to like stand on the table and just like.
Are you ready to rock?
Do you want some parm?
Provolone in your face. Here we go. Invading your space.
Hey, that's a good one. Provolone in your face, invading your space. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. So like death metal cheese.
Yeah, death metal
That's what
cheese.
we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's more my speed. Post punk is a little too out there for my taste.
I don't know.
I need more metal.
This is a weird. It's a weird story.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Also,
that cheese is going to be gross.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. Okay, so time out. It's a festival.
Analyze.
Right?
Yes, please
it's
analyze.
a festival. So like,
there's a whole bunch of people around
now
you.
I've never been.
Look, the photo. Look, it's a packed crowd.
This is at night. This photo's at night. Correct me if I'm wrong. Never been to one of these. These things start early.
Yes.
Like if you want to get there, you got to get there early.
Yes.
This dude has been carrying this cheese for no less than like minimum 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because you don't get there and you buy the cheese there. You bring the cheese from wherever you came from.
Yeah. And how did you sneak it past security?
How did you get it past security? What orifice was this hiding in?
Yeah, this might have been hidden in the pants.
So 10-hour cheese in the pants in the desert that you are now shredding on top of people. Now, mind you, you've been in the desert for probably half a day.
And it's the desert, too. Everyone's going to be sweating.
You're dusty. You're sweaty. What's the bathroom sitch like? It's a ditch. It's a ditch, right? Or a porta potty. Either case, that cheese is not blue because it's blue cheese. It's blue because whatever you've done has already infected it. That is gross.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
I changed my mind. I don't want it to be a cheesy Christmas.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Not at
this.
a huge concert.
That's
here.
gross. Have you ever had sweaty cheese?
No.
Like cheese that's been left out like a little too long and it starts to get a little gross.
Oh, you mean at like an actual normal party? Yes.
Yeah, like room
I'm
temperature.
sorry.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, Mike, I've never been to a concert and cheese rained down on me in the pit.
You've never had cheese at a concert? What
No,
kind of concerts are you going to?
I've never had cheese.
Not the right kind.
Nope, I've never had cheese in the pit. Nope.
You know, if Ghost had cheese at their concerts, they'd be even bigger. They'd be bigger than the Beatles right now.
Yeah, they even have from the provolone to the pit or something. That could be their song for
These
this.
places at their concession stands should sell cheese. Everybody likes cheese.
From the provolone to the pit.
There you go. Sounds like a weird documentary.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And maybe the pit is like olives. Like, ooh, okay. Maybe I can get behind this. Wait a minute.
Or maybe like a cheese maker becomes a musician from the provolone to the pit. This is like some type of
story.
One man story. It was a humble cheesemaker
decides he needs to rock out.
Put down his cheddar and picked up his shredder. I don't know.
Coming this fall.
Now that is an Oscar movie.
Yes.
From the provolone to the pit. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
There you go.
It's just stupid enough to be perfect.
Yes. That's actually the top review.
What's his name? Roger Ebert. Just stupid enough to be perfect.
Yes.
5 out of 4 stars.
Yes. 11 out of 10 stars.
11 out of 10. We got to take this to Netflix. They would absolutely make something like this.
There you go. There you go. Put this down. Write this down.
Dear Netflix. Just one sentence. From the provolone to the pit.
One man's journey. From being the cheesemonger to the rock monger.
It writes itself.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Let us know what you think.
10 Academy Awards.
Sweeps everything.
Sweeps them. Best movie of all time.
There you go. From the provolone to the pit.
Love it.
See, this is why, even though we may not have the best equipment or the best visuals, you gotta tune in every week because you never know what gems we're gonna drop on you.
Absolutely. Because just like some of the sports teams we mentioned earlier, we got nothing to lose here.
That's right. We're having fun.
We got nothing to lose. And when our camera fails, we talk about provolone musicals.
Yep.
Or documentaries.
And
whatever.
and we use a bare bone webcam.
That's right.
That came with my laptop. So there we go. We did it. We were able to still put on a show.
Yay.
Even though our main expensive camera decided to just fizzle out on us. Take that, universe.
You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Boy, is that the truth after this whole episode. But if you guys made it through, thank you for supporting us even when our main camera goes down. I promise you we'll be back next week with a better camera and hopefully everything will be resolved. But in the meantime, thank you guys for supporting us. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, where we have the video on Facebook Watch and Facebook Live. You follow us on YouTube, and you follow us on Spotify. Those are the 3 main ways that you can tune in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. So many ways to watch the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. If you've got a topic you want us to talk about, send it our way. If it's odd news, send it my way so that Mikey doesn't see it in advance. And it can be about anything. I mean, usually we try and do, some good old Florida hijinks. But today was this was a different one around the block.
Yeah, California kind of day with some cheese and some music.
Yeah. Where's California Pizza Kitchen? They should have been all over this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's grating some cheese in California. Why not getting, some sort of hookup deal with that?
Cross promotion. Yeah, definitely.
Come on.
Get it going.
So, if there's a topic you want us to talk about, send it our way. It could be anything. And if it's something that we do talk about, we give you the sausage shout out for doing so. So send it our way if you may. But for right now, we got to wrap this episode up. We broke our camera, so we need to end this episode. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.